You're scrolling through home listings, telling yourself you're just browsing. But really, you're trying to figure out if owning a home is even realistic anymore. Every listing looks the same. $500,000 for something that feels underwhelming. Outdated kitchen, tiny yard, questionable design choices that somehow survived 2 decades. And yet, it's labeled a starter home.
At some point, you stop looking at the pictures and start doing the math. And that's when things stop making sense. Because the real question isn't, can I buy this house? It's, can I actually afford to live with this decision?
There's a huge difference between getting approved for a mortgage and being able to live comfortably after signing it. And most people don't realize that difference until it's too late. Let's break this down honestly. Right now, in many markets, $500,000 isn't luxury, it's baseline. It's what average homes cost in areas where people actually work. At the same time, the typical household income hasn't kept up. So what you get is a gap, a big one.
On paper, lenders say you're fine. They approve you based on formulas that stretch your income to its limit. But those formulas don't account for real life. They don't factor in stress. They don't factor in uncertainty. They don't factor in what it feels like when everything depends on one monthly payment. Let's walk through what owning a home like this actually looks like. You save up for a down payment, maybe not the full 20% because that alone is a massive hurdle. So you put less down. That means higher monthly costs and extra fees.
Then comes the mortgage itself, a large loan stretched over decades with interest quietly multiplying the true cost. And that's just the beginning, because owning a home isn't just about the loan. There are taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs that show up unannounced and never cheap.
When you add everything together, the monthly cost becomes something much bigger than expected. Not just a number, but a commitment that touches every part of your life. Now, imagine your income. After taxes, after basic deductions, what actually hits your account each month? From that, you're now dedicating a huge portion just to housing. And what's left has to cover everything else. Transportation, food, health, daily living, and hopefully savings. There are taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs that show up unannounced and never cheap.
This is where reality kicks in, because what looks manageable on paper can feel overwhelming in practice. You're no longer making flexible choices, you're managing constraints. Every unexpected expense becomes a problem to solve. Every decision gets filtered through one question. Can we still afford the house? That's what people mean when they talk about being house poor. It doesn't mean you made a reckless decision. It means the numbers left you with no breathing room.
And here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people are quietly living like this. From the outside, everything looks fine. They own a home, they've made it. But behind the scenes, it's constant pressure. The system doesn't warn you about this. Because the system isn't designed to protect your comfort, it's designed to complete the transaction.
Banks approve loans based on risk tolerance. Agents focus on closing deals. Listings reflect market trends. But none of that guarantees the outcome will work for you. So people stretch. They assume things will improve. Future raises, extra income, better circumstances. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. The system doesn't warn you about this because the system isn't designed to protect your comfort. It's designed to complete the transaction. And when it doesn't, the cost isn't just financial. It's mental. It's emotional. It's the weight of knowing there's no easy exit. But here's something important. You're allowed to step back. You're allowed to question whether the numbers make sense. You're allowed to say, not right now. Because owning a home should improve your life, not restrict it. There's no reward for pushing yourself into a situation that removes your flexibility. No benefit in trading stability for appearance. No prize for proving you can handle it if it comes at the cost of peace of mind. Real financial progress isn't about owning the biggest asset you can qualify for. It's about having room to move, room to save, room to adapt when life changes. Sometimes that means waiting. Sometimes it means choosing something smaller. Sometimes it means renting longer than you expected. None of those are failures. They're decisions based on reality.
Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to own a house. It's to build a life that feels stable, sustainable, and actually enjoyable. So if the numbers don't work, trust that. Don't ignore it. Don't override it with pressure or expectations. Because the smartest financial move isn't always the one that looks impressive. It's the one that lets you sleep at night.